This podcast is for pure entertainment. Our thoughts and views, man, they're not to be taken serious. If we hurt your feelings, then maybe you should stop being so soft. We don't want no smoke with anyone for voicing our opinions, bro. Please, 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 please. We are all pussy. All of us. Welcome to the Iceberg Lounge. I hope you enjoy this just as much as we did making it. You did.
Hey, what he mad at Adam 22 for right now?
Saucy?
Yeah.
I have no idea. I didn't even know you was mad at him.
Yeah, he talking shit right now. I seen on IG today, talking hella shit, saying he'll beat his ass and fuck his wife.
Ooh, wee.
Yeah.
I'm Tyrone.
Everybody will fuck his wife.
Everybody. I think everybody did.
That's what's crazy.
I haven't.
I haven't yet. That's what I was about to say.
All right.
That bitch be that shit crazy, man.
That shit is crazy.
It
We
is.
was just talking about that on the other pod.
I need my bitch to fuck behind my back, nigga. I can't
I can't just be knowing about it.
Oh, you gonna fuck him?
You can't just be.
Yeah,
But they
I can't
are
just be
making
knowing
bread
about
though.
it.
I guess
It
they
ain't
are
worth
making
it,
bread.
Though. It ain't worth it though. Like,
Yeah.
Could you look
No, I
past
mean-
it?
Could I?
For him, he went
money.
into it like that.
yeah,
so
he did.
It depends
yeah.
on the money though. I don't
Yeah.
know.
I
I
can't.
might
There's
not.
an amount. There's a
I
price.
It gotta be.
well, yeah, it has to be because
No, look.
That's
I
what
don't
Andrew
think there
Tate.
could be a
He's like,
price.
if
Man,
you gonna do
look.
it, pay
no,
me.
he went into it with like that. So it's like they were already like
Yes.
kind of.
You
like
ain't letting your
playing
bitch
the
fuck
line.
for $3 million?
Nope.
No, 3 million.
Nope.
I
Shit,
might.
I'm gonna let her do it.
Yeah, I might let her do
I'm
it.
gonna let her do it.
I treat her like shit afterwards. But
See, like,
That's
nah, I
crazy.
can't.
Ain't no, I ain't treating.
I
Nah,
can't.
I'm finna do shit afterward.
You'll be happy.
We was.
I'm gonna be happy as hell.
every time we have an argument,
Remember?
nigga bringing that shit up.
But she gonna be like, you got paid though. You know
But
what I
what
gotta
would
do
you
it.
say?
Bro.
You still a
agree.
tramp.
Let me tell something,
Stank, bitch.
Let me tell something to everybody. If you a real nigga and you ever been in the game and you been outside doing stuff, everybody done had one of their bitches fucked by somebody else. And
Yeah,
that's
I
just what
feel
it
like
is.
they gonna do it
So,
anyway.
If
That's
they
me.
gonna do it
Right.
anyway,
That's why I say behind my back, like, man, like,
I would cry every day.
yeah,
Every day.
you would.
Yes.
I know her.
That's
You know
crazy.
her. I feel like they gonna go anyway. What
I've
do
been
you
in
think
some
about that though?
situations.
Because look, I got a lot of female friends, a whole bunch, right?
Yeah.
I got a lot of cousins, aunties, sisters. My little sister, I wouldn't say, but my older sister, she like, she done, did a couple things that were immoral, that I would say.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm not talking about like whole shit, but I'm talking about like to her nigga or whatever. You know
Oh,
what I'm saying?
okay. Oh, yes.
So
yes.
so I know how it goes behind them. So I'm like, nigga, and I've been cheated on a gang of times too.
Yeah,
So like, I look at it like, man, I know how all these motherfuckers is.
That's
So
what I'm saying.
it just get to the point where I just don't trust them anyways.
Mm.
I wind up now. I expect them to do whatever they gonna do. I don't.
Entering in to like any situation, you're just like you're gonna do what you want to do.
In my head, that's what I'm saying.
Really?
Yeah. Now when I got married,
That's
I
different.
tried to shift. It ain't no difference. I
Oh.
tried to
that's what I
shift.
said. But that's what I said. He's married, so it's
No,
different.
no,
He's
I'm
saying
trying
for
to
3 minutes.
shift. You know what I'm saying? Shift my thoughts and like
Yeah.
being more patient and understanding. But if I was to find out my wife cheated on me, I wouldn't be surprised. I'll say that.
And you would stay.
I don't know.
Okay.
I feel like it's more shit to leave for than cheating. I don't rank
Okay.
cheating like
Oh,
like,
it's not like top
man,
3.
Nah, cause motherfuckers get
Really?
through. Man, my grandparents been together for like damn near 80 years. You think that ain't neither one of them?
That's not a deal breaker to you?
It is. What's not a deal
Chill-
breaker?
cheating.
No, for what? They gonna do
Really?
it. I'm gonna get with the next
My
bitch and she
heart.
gonna cheat too. Why is it a deal breaker?
I feel like it should be.
Mm-mm.
There's
I live in a
When we
fairy
was
tale.
kid, when we was
There's
younger,
definitely worse.
there's
when we
worse
was
things.
younger,
There's
there was
worse
a deal
Worse
breaker.
things?
It was worse. It was a deal breaker when I was
It
younger.
sucks, yeah.
Cause
Yes.
of the embarrassment and in manhood, like when we talk, we used to make fun of niggas that got cheated on and shit. We didn't feel bad. I'm talking about when you're a teenager and shit.
Yes, yes.
When you older, you like, damn, nigga, that's fucked up.
Yeah,
She
it's
did
fucked
that
up. She
shit.
did you
But
dirty.
sometimes a nigga, you got to an age where a nigga was like, damn, that's fucked up. You know what I'm saying?
With a smile, too.
But now when you
Yeah.
older, you just
Yes.
like, yeah, I get it. Man, I'm gonna leave that bitch. Nah, man,
Nah.
look, chill out.
You gonna be back
Like,
with
yeah,
her, like,
exactly.
and I'm not gonna
That's
say
what I
nothing
tell
to you.
niggas.
Yeah.
Got back, hey, and then when you get to 70 years marriage, ain't nobody at that wedding think. I mean, at
They
the
not worried about
anniversary,
that,
they ain't
yeah.
thinking about none of that
Nah.
shit. They don't give a fuck. Now,
Damn.
if this nigga done fucked your little cousin or your
That's-
or
yeah.
molested the whoever, or he was a
Yeah,
fucking
that's
drug
yeah,
Yeah.
something
user,
bad,
Okay,
yeah.
we used to
Yes.
beat our ass. It'd be like, I don't like him. He beat our ass
Yeah.
all the time.
Okay,
Like
yes.
that's the shit. But like, man, that fucking cheating shit, that shit overrated.
Yeah.
Our generation overrated that shit.
No.
They did for real.
This
That
shit
overrated.
got
I
crazy.
can't do it.
Well, with that, let's start the stand pod. Let's start this pod.
Sorry.
This is the Iceberg Lounge. I am the name Uno, Phyllis Driller, Sid, the man June. And today we got a very, very, very special guest in the building. Someone that's been in the lounge before, but this time, you know, we give him the captain chair and put the light, shine the light on him.
Oh, this is a captain chair, huh?
Yeah, you know,
Mhm.
you know what I mean. That's why only few get to sit in there. You know what I mean. This is somebody I grew hella close with recently. I know I kind of say that every pod, but you can't sit here if I ain't really cool
Right.
with you. But
Facts.
this is really somebody I kind of talk to every day now, like just to talk the shit, just to talk business, to talk whatever. And over the course of just us getting closer, I've just realized this is a real solid and real nigga. And so I wanted to get him on the lounge, talk about his story, introduce him to people that aren't familiar, reintroduce him to people that are familiar. And with that being said, King Harris in the motherfucking building, man.
What
What's
up? What up? What up? What up?
Welcome.
Yes, sir. Yes,
Yeah.
sir, my dog. So the first question I always ask, man, where you from?
I'm from Oxnard, California,
Shout
but I've been out here. I'm 43 now. I've been in Oxnard for 20 years. So
Hell yeah.
actually, not 20. I'm sorry, 25 years.
Mm-hmm.
And I was 18 when I moved out here permanently. But my mom grew up out here. I grew up in the LA area.
That's what's up.
Yeah.
Growing up, what was childhood like for you?
It was blended. It was I'll say that it was an experience based on, everybody's story is different.
Yeah.
I could say, but for me, my story, pretty much like my childhood, was happy,
Mhm.
all because I didn't know what kind of traumas was actually going on at the
Yeah.
moment, because it didn't bother me.
Mhm.
Niggas was cool, but for the most part, that was it. Going to school, playing sports,
Yeah.
going to the park, hooping, balling niggas up. But that was pretty much, the thing.
Hell yeah. You're a father also.
Yep.
Talk to us about being a kid, being a father. I know when men are present in their kid's life, the love for them they feel is unconditional. So I mean, tell us about the ages and maybe a story that you can remember for the first time that they kind of surprised you.
I got 5 biological, and I got a bonus. First off, I had a dope father.
Yeah.
Half.
Mhm.
I got a dope dad. So my dad, my parents divorced when I was like 9 years old, and I was with my dad for the majority of the time. And it was some things that I guess I didn't understand back then, because I was like telling him earlier I was a badass kid. Or I felt like I was, you know what I'm saying? But so I got a lot of whoopings and was always on punishment, stuff like that. So a lot of that stuff, because I still winded up going to prison, things like that. So coming into fatherhood myself, I pick and choose. I used my childhood like a book, whereas sometimes you'll read a self-help book and you only gonna take the shit that you feel like you actually need. And that's what I did with fatherhood compared to my childhood. My dad raising me, I just took the things that I felt like would help. You know what I'm saying? And I adjusted and came up with a new style of parenting. So my oldest one, he's 22. He'll be 22 in a few days, actually. Yeah, in a few
That is
days, on the 26th.
Yeah.
He'll be 22. I was just making sure. But damn, no, it's 2025, right?
Yeah.
This nigga gonna be 23. I'm tripping.
Out of here.
Yeah, he's 22. Yeah, he gonna be 23. So, with him, for the most part, of course, he the guinea pig.
Yes.
So, me and his mom, we didn't know what we was doing.
Yep.
We had broke up before he even, was born. So, like, Of course, he was growing up in 2 different households, and that's kind of what I went through. But as he got older is when it becomes challenging because kids, what happens is they become who they are based on their surroundings. So you latch on when you're that age, like 12, 13, you latch on to whatever interests you or whatever.
Sure, yeah.
So instead of being, and I'm not saying that my dad or my mom was nagging me or anything like that, but trying to understand why they making certain decisions is pretty much what I geared onto.
Yeah.
And whatever I didn't support, I pretty much because I didn't. If it was if it had issues with morale, that's one thing. Then it's like nope. You know what I'm saying? Nope.
Cut it. Yeah.
But if it was just something that I disagreed with, then I just all right, man, we're gonna figure this part out. But he was an easy kid because he was real good in sports. He flourished in every level of
tight.
sports and stuff
that's
like
tight.
that. He always had good grades. When he was younger, he had bad grades, but he winded up staying with his uncle at a point, and it got to the point where his grades were really good, and he was doing his thing. So as long as it didn't have anything to do with him being a troubled kid.
Sure.
I was for it. So I just tried to understand him. I pushed back on the discipline. He did get ass whoopings, but when I felt like he really needed it.
Right, when they're necessary.
Yeah, but then he's now at Montana University. He just graduated from Montana University. He was playing for the football team there. I got to watch him on ESPN and
Hey, big
Oh,
ups.
congrats.
all of that
Congrats.
stuff, bro. I just flew out there to watch him graduate in May and
So far.
sat up there.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's crazy. So
Montana,
like,
love Montana too.
yeah, it went like that.
Yeah.
But I gotta my daughter, she about to be 19. She just went to the military last year.
Wow.
Ooh.
And it was pretty much the same thing
Yeah.
what I was saying with him. The same thing with her. Now with her, she a female, so it's
Yeah.
different because you
Yeah.
got these old big head ass niggas running around trying to smash your daughter.
Sure.
And, so you gotta let her
Navigate life or
because I was one of the niggas jumping through windows to smash girls in high school. The girls that was sheltered, they was like most of them were like the biggest.
Sluts.
Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Hell
so,
of an experience.
yeah, like, he said I have a lot of experience. No, real shit. But they parents was, really, really, really strict.
Yeah.
Sure.
My style with my daughters is more so like,
honest, transparent.
cause you'll scare them away and they'll start lying. Now, I'm not saying that she tells me every single thing.
Yeah.
But she tells me more than a lot of these other fathers get. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You can't
Okay.
coach them if you don't know what's going on or whatever.
Yes.
So I'm able to predict stuff. I told her, like, as things were going to happen, what was going to take place a year ahead. Like, nah, look, I'm not telling you that, you shouldn't have sex or anything like that because I can't tell you what to do with your body. However, I will tell you that you're not ready.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? You're not ready in here.
Yep.
What? Just trying to understand. She open-minded, but she want to know like why would you say something like that? All right, you gonna wind up messing with this little dude. You pretty, so 9th grade, 10th grade, you probably gonna spark the
Junior,
entrance.
senior.
Exactly. Them niggas. You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
Football player, let's just say, this nigga gonna see
Add
the
her
next
to the roster.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, that's how
you
you
gonna be busy and trying to study for finals, and you just found out that he's smashing that cheerleader in third period.
Yeah.
And now you can't stop thinking about
Stop
it.
thinking about it.
She had that same experience. Not that she was
Doing all the extras.
doing all the extras,
Yeah.
but I'm saying when you're that age, if somebody shows you attention, you give your all
To that.
to that. So like, it got to the point where her grades started slipping because dudes started seeing other people. You know what I'm saying? So once he starts seeing other people, now you see what I'm talking about? Like this is what it is. But it just happens in different levels. So you just gotta be like that. But like, with the girls, I'm kinda like that. And with my son, I got only one other son.
Yeah.
And he's 9 years old, so he's still learning. But I also got a 13-year-old and I got a 3-year-old, and my bonus daughter is 9. She's gonna be 10 in August. But like, yeah, man, like
So 4 girls, 2 boys.
yeah.
How's being a this is my last question on childhood, but on your kids. But how's being a bonus dad versus being a normal dad?
It
Where
depend
it's on the age. Like she 10, so what would be the closest in age to her right now? Lil King.
Yeah, little kid.
So
Yeah.
what's the difference between how you may
Discipline.
discipline them
approach
or say
parent.
something or
Yeah.
parent?
I don't really
If there is a difference,
because
at
like
all.
I told you, I don't really whip my kids anyways.
Yeah.
A lot not that they haven't.
Sure.
You know what I'm saying?
Mm.
But I don't get down like that anyways, really. So that would be the only thing that a nigga would be like sketchy about.
Mm-hmm.
But I can't think of too much of a difference. If I'm being honest, I could say that
Can wifey say there be a difference? If you could,
y'all gotta talk to her.
Okay.
I don't think she sees it though. But like, we was at breakfast early and we was talking about how it's crazy how it's a lot of active dads out there, but due to how like the court system and everything works, they spend more time with their stepchild than they do their own kids.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So it's like I could say that that's something that I pay attention to. You know what I'm saying? And I don't know if my son like recognizes it or anything like that because I only see them like once every other week. But when I talk to him during the week, he might ask a question and it'll relate to, is Michaela there? You know what I'm saying? I'm like, yeah, she right here. What are you guys doing? Like, and I don't know what he's thinking when he's ask that. You know what I'm saying? But I just pay attention because I never had any situation where I felt like somebody was more important to me because I got 5 step siblings.
Oh,
So
okay.
on my dad's end. So like
Yeah.
I didn't ever feel like they were treated better than me. Maybe there was a time where I felt like, hey, why can't I do this? Because for my dad, it's like, well, nobody else can't do it. So, you're my dad. Like, you know what I'm saying? What do you mean? Like, I never had the guts to tell him that, by the way. But
That was my thought process.
Yeah. That was my thought process.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, you just grow to understand. So because I was a step kid, and things like that, and I had my ups and downs as a step kid with my stepdaughter, like, man, shoot, I wish a nigga would. Like, for real. Like, oh man,
That's a
I'm
beautiful
begging.
thing, though.
Yeah. I'm begging.
Yep.
What was one of your biggest mistakes that turned into a great lesson earlier in life?
It's hard for me to say that because I try not to regret anything because, like I was telling him,
No regret, mistake. No regret.
I think the only thing is having so many kids with so many different people.
Mm.
Now, are we talking about teenage years or
Wherever you want to go with it.
However
yeah.
you-
I think that because that affects everybody today.
Yeah.
My kids, like I said, I got 5 kids, a bonus too.
Yeah.
So like, my kids, they're not as close as they should be because it's 4 different people.
Yeah.
You know what I'm
Okay.
saying?
Yeah.
So like, they're not as close as they should be. I should say, but they acknowledge each other and they communicate with each other. But it's not like with my siblings, like my brother, my 2 sisters. I talk to them every day.
Every day.
Every day. Like
Yeah.
my sister lives in Virginia. I haven't talked to her in a few days, but I typically talk to her like, every day too.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
but like my kids, they don't do that. So like I said, I think that is one of the only things that I really
That's fair.
I feel like
that's
there
fair.
was a kind of like I wasn't thinking about it, at that
feel that.
time. Yeah.
So-
Hindsight.
I'm gonna ask a little deeper questions, but I'm gonna ask it in a different way
Yeah.
than what normal niggas would ask. How many years have you done? Because you done some years.
You talking about in prison?
Yes.
Total. I probably did about
That's crazy.
in total, probably about 6 or 7 years in total, but they were all broken up. This last sentence, I got sentenced to 5 years, and I did 3, right under 3. I was
Was
supposed
that
to
your
do.
longest?
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. I got sentenced to 2 years. I was in county for half of it, and then state for the other half before. I did that, and this one was the longest stretch, and it was the most stressful stretch, but it helped. This one helped the most, but
Yeah, we was talking about that off air.
hell yeah, like it helped. The people think that, like, jail is kind of like it. In theory, I guess it would be next to death, especially if you get life or something like that.
Hell.
Yeah.
Okay.
But if you got a chance to come home,
And reform.
yeah, like you kind of like so they got, like I was telling him, this the state and feds are like two different places. State's full of like a lot of low level criminals. You got some high levels, but you got a lot of low level criminals in there. And with the feds, you got a lot of that crazy stuff
Upper
in there.
echelon,
Like
right,
like
yeah.
Puff Daddy at risk
Right.
of going to the feds right now. That's where a lot of dudes wind up going. People you like that disappeared off the street or
Yeah.
off TV, you literally will get arrested, go to the feds, and boom, there goes Jared from Subway. Boom, there goes
Harvey
Bill Cosby,
Weinstein.
Harvey Weinstein.
Right.
All of them dudes, they sitting in the feds. I was
Sitting.
in there with Gorilla Black, Harry O, who else? It was a few people from El Chapo's case, like,
Oh,
you
no
know,
kidding.
man, you
Okay.
running into all of them dudes. Big Meech was right across the street.
Huh.
Like, yeah, I was at Lompoc. Big Meech was at the Lompoc medium. I was at the low. But
Wow.
people are coming from the low. Like, oh, yeah,
Yeah.
Big Meech over there.
Yeah.
Yeah, he over there,
Yeah.
shit, buying up everything. Like, it's real shit. But, like, you get to poly with millionaires and billionaires. So you figure a lot of stuff out. Real quick, it was a 79-year-old dude that I winded up working in the kitchen with. And I was, chilling with that dude because they lock you in the kitchen. They use the kitchen as like a jail cell when you're working in there. So I'm playing cards with this old dude, white dude, playing cards with him every day. And one day we get to talking about our cases. I'm first. I'm telling him about mine. And then we start talking about his. This nigga start talking about I was running a $40 billion company, and
Damn,
he said I had, I was worth $4 billion and had liquid like 600-700 million. And I'm like, all right, yeah, okay.
I thought you was gonna say that you was locked up with DB Cooper or something.
No. But that dude, it could have been, and just didn't know it.
Yeah.
But no, but dude, he was on that kind of stuff, and then, I didn't trust him. So there was they got the cop that's there, and I asked him, like, yeah, you know that dude? He like, yeah, blah blah blah. And I said, is it true? He in
check
here?
out, check out, yeah.
And he was just like, well, that's what I heard. Like, what do you mean? Like, well, what is, like, blah blah blah. And I'm like, hold on, Google it real quick. Man, he turned that motherfucking computer around. That nigga
Checked out.
had $4
Checked
billion
out.
for sure.
Man.
Like, that shit was crazy. But they
That's
gave him 20 years for flipping skyscrapers. He was buying them up. He was buying them when they were on
Yeah.
foreclosure, and he he renovate them, and then he sell them for the actual value. So you know how let's just say you got $1 million house.
Yeah.
If it foreclosed and they getting it off for 50,000 or whatever, he get the full loan. You know what I'm saying? Get the full loan and fix it, and then he sell it for way more than what it. You can't do that within a certain amount of time, or you can't get the
ridiculous,
full
man.
I was
loan or
gonna say
something.
that's a crime.
Yeah,
Yeah,
hell
like,
yeah.
come
the way
on,
you
man.
do it,
Yeah, the way you do it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
the
Yeah,
government
you gotta
don't
go
get his
through some
piece.
You can't take
Yeah.
a bunch of loans out.
But he did that. He did that.
If you don't mind, if you could pinpoint, you see, I'm not gonna ask you what you did because usually people do that. But if you could pinpoint, some of the things that you noticed that led you to that trajectory, could you talk to us about that
About prison?
on your way to prison? Like, what led you? If you could pinpoint
Mishaps.
Like the
or-
events.
not the necessarily events, the steps that led you to
Right,
prison,
right.
but if
Yeah.
you could pinpoint a time in your life where the
Like should have
the lack of whatever.
I get it. I think it was in the 9th grade when, because I got a lot of drug dealers and stuff in my family like that.
Yeah.
So, like, I think in the 9th grade, we went through a rough patch with, like I told you, I was living with my dad. My dad kind of, he worked a lot, and he was a musician too. So my dad spent a lot of nights in the studio, be at work, then go at night, go to the studio. not only that, he was involved in the church a lot. So him and my stepmom, they were always gone a lot.
Yeah.
Now, whether or not we had the money to have food and stuff like that, it's like that first week when you're dealing with 8 kids in the house. That first week we go grocery shopping, that food gone. You buy Fruit Loops,
Fact.
noodles,
Gone.
all of that is gone. You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
So I don't know like what the like I never really talked to them about like anything like that. Like so I don't want to blame, but I can say what my mind was at that point. The first thing that happened, my church, they were selling pancake tickets, like for pancake breakfasts. And they would give us, and you supposed to sell them, bring the money back, whatever. Sound like some dope consignment, don't it?
Yes. Yes.
So look,
Absolutely.
This one episode,
Bring
they,
the dope back.
bring
Or the paper
whatever,
back.
bring the money back. I think what happened is they canceled the pancake breakfast, right?
Yeah.
I had like 3 books of tickets still. I went to, because I used to do stuff like, I guess go to the 99-cent store and, you know, hey, I'm King, I'm stuck. I actually lived in Hawaiian Gardens at that moment.
Yeah.
And I'll be like, hey, I live in Long Beach, but I don't have no way to call my dad. Do you got a quarter? Back then it was 25 cents.
Yep.
You got a quarter? Some people, they didn't have change. They just give you $1. So it was like a panhandling thing.
Yeah.
And I used to do that, right?
Yep.
I had these pancake tickets. I stood in front of that store and sold all the tickets knowing damn well they wasn't getting
happening.
it was over with.
Right.
Yeah.
That's lit.
I winded up making like $200 the first time.
Man. Yep.
The next day, I went out there. You know, I made some money,
Shout out
and
to
you know, of
Trappers.
course, you eventually run out of pancake tickets. You know what I'm saying? So at that point, you know, I was kind of like, dang, like what do I do? I got to find my little lick. LA Times winded up hiring me and a few of my stepbrothers we winded up going to work for LA Times door to door.
Yeah.
One of the ladies gave me a tip. You know, he was like, no, thank you, but here's a tip. So I made up this little spiel in my mind, like, you know, I'm gonna say that we're like a team of at-risk kids, and
I see.
you know, this is what we
made
sell.
that up?
Yeah, this is 9th grade too. This is what we selling these newspapers for or whatever. Man, I was leaving. I was going back home with like 300 almost every night.
Wow.
And my dumb ass
Yeah.
told one of my stepbrothers, he's like, where you get all that money from? We in the back seat. And the dude, like, he's like, what'd you do? I said,
Let me tell you.
yeah, they just gave me. Now I told them they just gave me donations, and you know, I just took them and give me that.
All that
Took
shit.
it from me. We winded up not working for them again, but when I got comfortable enough, I started stealing. So I would go to like Ross and places like that. We eventually moved to Hesperia for a little bit, and I got caught stealing. And
The bill, huh?
yeah, my dad, mind you, I'm in the 10th grade at this time, and my dad whooped my hands with a belt, right? 15 years old, thinking like, My mom calls, she's like, what you whooping him for or whatever? I know they had a back and forth over it. He like, I don't give a damn if he 30. He ain't gonna be stealing, you know what I'm saying? So it was that was an issue. That's how I wound up moving to Oxnard when I was 15. I moved to Oxnard for a year when I was 15. When I came to Oxnard, behind my mom's back, I started, not that I started hanging because they trust a certain relative, and I started hanging with that relative, and they used to do things like, you know, because they was drug dealers. So, hey, can you go across the street, handle this for me real quick? You know, 15 years old, all right. Go across the street. When I come back, they give me like $5. Then all his homeboys, hey, can't get in there. So I'm the nigga at school with the big wad of cash.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And that was going cool for a little bit till my uncle got wind of it, and he threatened to beat my ass. And anybody know my uncle? My uncle Daniel, by the way. I'm not. I'm
Quick.
smart.
He said, I'm
I'm
not
not
equipped.
equipped for that.
Smarter
Not
than
equipped
that.
for that.
Yeah, I'm smarter than that. So, but it was just always around.
Yeah.
Now, when I moved back with my dad, you know, I move around here and there, but you know, my mom was more so trying to keep me out of stuff, so she would send me money. I started having little gigs, things like that. So I got used to it. But I think that's what turned on my survival instinct. And the survival instinct is what led to
them.
Yeah.
to all that drug stuff. Because when you go through tough times, your survival instinct kick
Gonna
in.
kick right in.
Yeah. So like I said, I was 20 years old when my son was born. I'm 20 years old, and I got him, and at that age, his mom's 18. So like at that age, we arguing every day.
Yeah.
You need to do your part and
sure.
all of that stuff. Like, man, let me go get a sack real quick. I don't know
Get
what
the
else.
shit off.
Yeah.
Right,
Like,
right.
but
It's real.
Yeah, fair enough.
All right, man. We're gonna switch gears a little bit.
yep.
There's been a time recently you have been in some shit.
Yeah.
And I'm a messy bitch. So
Yeah.
I gotta talk about the shit. The 805 has been having a lot of news going around, and you've been kind of at the center of all the news kind of recently.
All the news, yeah.
Started with the 805 entertainment shit that happened at Copper Blues. We not talking about that. We already did
Yeah,
that.
we did that.
But let us know your thoughts on the latest beef that's taken place with Swanko.
Who? Nah.
That kind
Nah,
of
I'm
took
messing around.
the 805 by frenzy recently. Talk to us about that. Give us your opinions on why you think that even happened and so forth, so on, man.
I think that first off, respect to Miss Angie Cooper, and Riri. That's Swanko's mother and child. Not like before I wrote that verse, they were heavy on my mind. Like heavy, like what they gonna think for real. I was like, what is about to take place? But for the record, I fucked with Gary. I still like, low key, like, I got love for him, but like
Who's Gary?
Swanko.
Oh, okay.
This nigga put out the nigga mama, his
Yeah.
sister. He
Government
said,
name.
this
Oh, I
nigga
know
Gary,
you.
he cool.
I
Oh,
know
Gary
who you
Bear.
are.
Oh, Gary Bear.
Gary Bear?
Yeah,
Hey,
Gary
bro.
Bear.
Not Gary Bear.
Thanks
Yeah.
for bringing that to here, bro. I love that, bro.
No. I thought not on no messy shit.
No, not like that. I just didn't know.
Nah,
I
not
just
on
didn't
no
want to
messy shit.
ask. Yeah.
No, that's the home. That's
No,
the
we got you.
Angie's the
Yes.
homie, and I fuck with Riri. I'm proud of her. She just graduated from college,
Yeah.
which is dope. No,
Yeah.
for real.
Telling
Yeah.
real
Yeah.
I'm
life
telling
shit.
you real shit. His mom,
You
she's
couldn't write
successful.
this,
And I
guys.
know
You
you.
couldn't write
Yeah.
this shit.
No, for real. She's
promise.
successful in her right with a
Yeah.
lot of things that she's doing. But what the thing is I fuck with Gary. My thing with him was, I never publicly this nigga crazy. I never in my life publicly speak against anybody out of Ventura County in the hip hop scene like that. I always figure a way to say good. In private, I might say one. I mean, I might be a little more critical. Not necessarily that I'm shitting on niggas saying that they suck
Yeah.
or
Yeah.
whoever I'm better than or whatever. That shit don't matter. You know what I'm saying?
But publicly.
I felt like looking at the video, I'm like, I had to watch it a few times because I'm just like, like, why is he so pressed to discredit me?
Right.
Is what I was trying to figure out.
Yeah.
There's a difference between having an opinion and that. You know what I'm saying? Like you sitting up there like really.
Having a reason to
Yeah.
like, say what you're saying.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then we want to talk about feelings. Like I'm hearing that I'm in my feelings. I'm like, well, who was really in their feelings? Because my nigga wasn't even saying that I'm the king of Ventura County.
At
That's
all.
my name.
He's saying we have somebody. He
Yeah.
basically was saying we have somebody named King out here, and there's another king,
King
out
out
there.
there.
Yeah.
But he was saying it's the top
Yeah.
person out here.
And
Yeah.
that ruffled some feathers within.
Yeah.
And he's like, man, let me tell you something. But nah, but look, when it boils down to that, I just viewed it like, damn, like I don't, unless somebody can see this and tell me whether I did it or not, I don't remember any time where I was publicly, dissing somebody like that. Like
Publicly.
and he
Right.
ain't taking like, the nigga in my inbox, like, hey man, I didn't mean that, like all of that. It's like, nah, nigga, like
You
say
said
it on you said it.
Just, yeah.
And how
it
you
on
gonna
wax,
how you gonna sit up there and tell me how to respond or how to react to anything? You know what I'm saying
Yeah.
that you said. So I call Uno. I first called my homeboy Sean Biggs, and I sent the video to him. I'm like, hey, what you
How you
yeah.
feel about this?
Yeah, he's
Yeah.
like, yeah, nigga, the nigga low key like hating. You know what I mean? And that's all I would hear.
Yeah.
There was one dude, my homeboy, Ted, and he kind of was like, well, maybe he was fuck all that.
Yeah.
This is what I don't like about it,
Yeah.
especially when you start saying, because to me you clowning when you saying, I mean, he's 2012 nice, like
Yeah.
what?
Yeah.
Yeah, and
Okay.
that's when I realized I hadn't dropped nothing in a while. You know what I'm saying?
It's time to drop.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It's like, oh, maybe these niggas think that, even though I dropped in 2016 and I put a little small EP out in 2017,
Yeah.
I went away for a minute. When I came back, I really wasn't into music like that.
Yeah, you just here.
I was just there. So
Yeah.
coming back, and I'm like, all right, I'm gearing up. I had already been polying with Uno a lot, with you, and I'm trying to I'm gearing up. I'm doing songs and shit. And in the middle of this, it's like, oh wow,
Yeah.
this is rejuvenating. I drive trucks. I drive a big rig.
Yeah.
I'll throw that beat on while I'm driving a big rig. 3 a.m. feels a
Cruising.
lot
On
different.
the I-10.
Man, it feels a lot.
Creative.
Man, I'm telling
Right,
you.
right.
I don't know what it is about the night air,
Yeah.
but man,
It's
that
different.
shit, man, I'm like,
It's different.
woke up without it. I'm like, hold up.
I'm about to get to work. While
Like
I'm at work.
Yeah, while I'm working.
Yeah.
Wrote that whole shit while I'm driving, while I'm sitting in the truck. And then I went and recorded it. I sent it to a few people. One of the folks was just like, especially my wife, she was like, you better not drop that. Yeah, no, don't do it.
She said no.
Yeah, she was like, you said his name. I don't
Oh.
give a fuck. But you said his name. I'm like, yeah. So some people was like, nah, nigga, it ain't worth it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But Uno thought it was worth it.
Yeah, bro.
He said he a messy bitch.
I know. I'm like, stop. No, you not.
Yeah, he felt it was
With
worth
all
it.
the smoke.
I
And I
felt
was
like it
I
was
was with
worth
him.
it.
Yeah, I was
felt
with
like
him.
it was worth
I
it.
was with him. So, I dropped the song right before I dropped the song. That's when I started getting the inboxes and
Yeah.
stuff like that. When he knew there was another song coming, dude. He also I guess he was looking at it like competitive, which I don't. Just to put this out there for the record, I don't want any harm to come to him. It's not that I hate him or I dislike him. I don't like what he said. I had to, do
Address
it.
it,
I had to
yeah.
defend myself lyrically just because you said what you said.
Mm-hmm.
I don't want to kill the man. I just
Right.
want to kill the man. You know what I'm saying?
No, yeah, no,
That,
said.
That's what it was, and it's to the point now. It got the type of response that it got. So I gotta do what I gotta do.
Yep.
So, but that's pretty much what my thought process was with it or whatever. But shout out to. He crazy. Part my back.
A sweaty niggas quick to step out of line, and I don't wanna hear it's just an opinion. A nigga really should've kept out of mind. Ride by, all you see is the ricochets. I ain't talking to him, ain't got shit to say. But these niggas better veer off before I crash out off a sipper tray. You're killing me, Swank. The problem is you a little nigga, so it's no credibility, Swank. This shit is a rep at the most. No
Hold up,
question
real
about it,
quick.
but it's questionable.
What was you thinking when you first heard it?
Never said nothing about the way.
Oh, my bad. So I feel like there's only been 2 battles in the whole 805 for real, mine and yours. So I was alone in it. So when I heard it, I was happy
Yeah.
from a standpoint of like competitiveness, because I already know what it does to, like, I witnessed it firsthand. So I already know how juiced and how messy the world is already. And so from an artist and from a businessman, and especially from your point of view, from somebody that is already gearing up to drop music, why not take the alley-oop and dunk the
Yeah.
basketball?
Yeah.
It makes absolutely no sense. And he's talking shit.
Mhm.
So it's not like it's a he's talking shit about you as an artist. He's not talking shit about you as a man. So there was no reason to take it
And further.
Yeah.
any further
Yeah.
than you talking about my artistry. I can always out-rap you, so let me show you I can out-rap you.
Yeah.
So then when I heard it, I'm like, well, yeah, regardless if I thought it was a hit, but regardless if I thought it was a hit or not, the nigga can't rap better than you.
Yeah.
So there's nothing he's gonna be able to do to beat that.
I get it.
So that's why
You
when
do
he
know- you
when
do-
he responded, I was like, what we talking about. That's it, right?
Yeah.
Like it's like we
and
wrapping it up.
I honestly feel like he came harder than I thought he was gonna.
When
and
you
I told
said
him
that to me,
yeah.
I was
And I
tripping.
I
I
was
was
like,
like,
why
what
did
the
he
fuck
say
do you
that?
even
I
mean
was-
by that?
I don't know.
He said he thought it was a 0 and it was a 2. So I
thought he was
understand
about
what
to
he
come. I thought he was about to come with
The only
He
like
said 0.
No, I thought he was about to come.
He said he thought it was gonna be a 0,
No,
but it was a 2.
But I understood your other side of it because it made sense. It's like I get like even what he was saying, it's like hard to rap about somebody for like 3 minutes straight. So it's like I give you credit.
Mm-hmm.
This song's still ass. Like
Yeah,
and
yeah.
your rap ability is not like that great.
Yeah.
So I don't it's not I just give you credit for being a part of it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
For participation. You know what I mean? You get the participation.
Niggas that
Hey
are,
nigga, hey, don't hey.
I got homies
What was
that
the
are
first thing I said when you show me?
Oh, you
I
still
said,
listen?
don't rap with niggas that rap.
that rap.
Yeah.
You can't rap with niggas
Just
that
stop
rap.
rapping with
No.
niggas that rap.
Yeah.
But no, I heard my homie heard it. He don't even listen to hip hop. Nigga, he heard it and it was
Yeah.
like, nigga, this nigga can rap his ass off.
Yeah.
So
He gonna rap
I don't
in
even know
circles.
why this nigga even think he can. Why he even said that.
It was good exercise though. I can tell you that because I had never. I've sent shots and songs and shit like that, but I've never like
It's like
created
a
a whole
euphoria,
song.
bro. And
Yeah.
only a few people can really understand it. Like when you drop a song that's directed at somebody, the feeling you get is like weird.
It's a rush.
It's
Yeah.
like a
Hell yeah.
adrenaline rush, like a
Yeah.
motherfucker.
Yeah.
Cause you're not like dropping it's not like an album. Like when you drop an album, you low key nervous. You like,
Yeah.
but then when you send it to niggas, like for me, for the beef I was in, I sent the song before I dropped it. I just sent it to
Yeah.
niggas, and I was like, and everybody's feeling was the same. Like either it was, damn nigga, or don't drop this, and that made me want to drop it
course it
more.
did. Okay,
so
I see
I
where
was
you're
like,
going with it.
okay, when a nigga's telling me not to drop it, that is what I got off what I
got
needed to
to.
get
Yeah,
off.
for sure.
I'm dropping this motherfucker
Yup.
because
Yeah.
he needs to
Yeah.
feel that.
Yup.
Because you, whatever energy that you made me get
We
into
both
that
needed to
bag,
feel it, though.
we
Right.
both
Yeah.
needed
Right.
to feel that.
Yeah.
And I can't. It's not. I thank the nigga because it's rare that you can even get to that vibe.
Yeah.
Really, usually you just want to fight a nigga.
Right.
Yeah.
But then when you take that same energy on wax,
Yup.
it's
Put it on a
like,
record.
oh, bro, it's different. Like,
My
It's
phone
different.
was ringing off the hook with people that were thinking it was 1,000% more serious too.
no,
And I don't know it's because
Yes.
they
I was
they know
curious
me.
about that.
Yeah, people, because some people hear stories about me, and some people know me, but they're you know, it's a gang of calls. Like, man, I'm just trying to make sure this shit ain't going past.
Right.
Right.
Man, come on, bro. Like,
Right.
like get off my phone. Why are y'all like all like
Making it
calling
deeper?
me? Yeah, making it deeper than what it is.
They're
It's
used to
rap.
it.
Like, he a
They're used to
man.
it.
He's a grown ass
Yeah.
man.
He asked for this.
Let's get to this and this is hip hop. This is how essentially how hip hop started. This at the time I fell in love with hip hop. This
niggas was battling.
man. That's
Yeah.
And
it.
talking way disrespectful
Way more
than
disrespectful.
Yeah.
You know what I'm
you
saying?
know what I mean? Way disrespectful
So-
than nigga name.
Man, so look.
Right.
So
That's
look,
a
let's
fact.
just this is what we in. I don't want to do this whole thing like and for the record, I didn't respond to him in my inbox. I didn't say anything.
Yeah.
He probably sees that it was read or whatever, but I ain't about to be. We in a battle.
There's no back and
what
forth,
am
bro.
I talking to you for, bro? We
For
ain't.
what?
Yeah, we ain't doing
Right.
that. Like
Right.
we'll see what happens down the line.
Yeah.
But at this point, bro, I'm locked in. Nigga, you
Yeah.
ain't about to get me off my game,
Off my
nigga, because
game.
I'm about
Yeah,
to.
but trying to talk
Yeah, because that next one was.
Going crazy.
that-
Absolutely
it was.
crazy.
I decided not to.
Okay.
Yes, the nigga had
Yeah.
it.
He had it.
Yeah.
The nigga had it.
It was.
Oh, before that song, or
No,
just
but
in
like
case?
as I
Right around
dropped.
that
Okay,
time,
so when
yeah.
that dropped,
Uh-huh.
the very next morning, driving in the truck
Yup.
with another beat on,
Yup.
doing the same thing.
Because he
you know what I'm
dropped
saying?
that. He dropped it Sunday night. So Monday morning.
Monday morning,
he was
I was
already
right.
ready.
You know what I'm
Ready.
saying?
Yeah.
All I was
Okay.
doing, like, the beat change situation.
Yeah.
So when the day that it dropped, I came home because that beat change wasn't in there.
Mhm.
I wrote that while I was on my break at work,
Mhm.
and then when I took a lunch break and went home for an hour and did that part, and then got back on the road and they dropped it before I got off my work or whatever. But I say like the same thing. Like he's saying it was Monday,
Yeah.
so he dropped it on Father's Day. I'm sitting up there like, all right, you know what?
Yeah.
Let me go back. You know what I'm saying? And it's like you run out of friendly things to say.
Right, right.
Like
Now it's
we
angry.
battling
Now
now.
we-
Now
yeah,
it's like,
yeah.
nigga, you said this.
Yeah.
This trigger and
response
this.
to
Yeah,
that.
man.
Yeah.
Look, bro, that shit that he said at the end, the last bar, when he said you ain't the king of nothing but your mama's guts or something like that. That's what. Because I wasn't even tripping. I was just
Yeah.
like, whatever. But when he said that, I was like, did my mama hear this?
Bro.
Yeah.
Because my mama heard this, I gotta.
Yeah, I gotta get
I
off.
gotta
Yeah,
defend
I
that.
gotta do what I gotta
Okay.
do.
Yeah, because like when you start resorting to ad hominems like that is when it's like it's gonna trigger some kind of
Sticking a nut, man. Look, bro, we could stick it out,
Cause
but
he was
you really-
he was juiced.
Yeah.
Cause
Of course.
cause after I heard it, I'm like, bro, we good, right? He like, no, nigga, what? That nigga said this,
Bro,
this, this.
yeah.
Like,
I
I
that's
said,
what he
yo,
really
that.
said.
I
Yeah.
said, no, nigga, it's done. But
Yeah.
it's ass though.
Yeah.
It don't matter what
It's like
the nigga
way
said.
he
Like,
said it,
I'm
yeah.
like, no,
don't
no.
even trigger that to that, cause
Yeah.
then it's just
Yeah.
gonna go. Now it's
was like
just
the
ass
second
on
person.
ass on
Right.
ass.
Yeah.
Like,
That
He was
snowball
like the
effect.
second person that was trying to tell me like, cool it. I was like, nope, nope, nope.
he was ready to jump off.
I was ready to go,
yeah.
but by the time sometimes the initial shock or something,
Yes.
you know what I'm saying?
Mhm.
If he'd have slapped me in the face, then it was
Reaction.
Yeah,
you
reaction.
human, you
Okay.
human.
you know what I'm saying. But if he
Yeah.
slapped me in the face and everybody grabbed me, it's kind of like, all right, we just got to link up and have a fair one or
Real
whatever.
quick,
Right.
real quick.
That's
Yeah.
what it turns into. So
Yeah.
So if you felt like that was more than a 2, would you have dropped whatever was next?
Yeah.
If you felt his response was better.
nah, oh no.
Would you
Well,
have
oh,
kept
if his
going?
response
we
was
would've
better,
Yeah,
dropped
yeah,
we would've
yeah.
dropped right
But
back.
it would have had to been like a 7,
yeah.
6, 7.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it had to be.
Like,
It
He'd
had,
have
to,
had-
it had to have been.
And it
like,
would have
Yeah.
had to. It wouldn't have, like.
It would have just had to be like more niggas that said it was bad, just
Equal,
said it was
or at
good.
least it
Right.
was
Just
like-
more
yeah.
niggas that said it was ass, said it was good,
Right.
then that would have made niggas jump off.
Yeah, because then we would have went
Okay.
right back. Yeah.
But he had like some, he had some things that he said in there. Mostly everything he said was personal. So it was just like, that's kind of like where I was like, well, we just gonna keep going. I ain't about to sit up here and just keep on going and,
Right.
and
Airing
like,
shit out,
yeah,
yeah,
airing
yeah.
shit
Okay.
out. Like we live in a small community.
Yes.
It's gonna get bad if it turns into that, and it's not gonna stay on wax. You know what I'm saying? So
There's no way.
yeah,
There's no way.
and that's
Yeah.
why I started it by saying, respect to Miss Angie and all of them, like, because I fuck with them for real.
Yeah.
And
I
and
hopped
and me
in
and
the
him
chat.
got, huh?
I hopped in the chat, the Connect the Coast, and I was surprised how many people I knew that was in the chat because of what was going on.
Yeah.
So it is a small.
Yeah, it's a small community, so it can jump off easy, and they got family out here too.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So
Yeah.
I seen how shit can get. So it ain't,
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. All right, let's get to this real music shit.
Mm-hmm.
Damn, I lost my spot. Hold on. Yep. How did your relationship with your cousin play a factor into like getting looks earlier on? Because Buddy tried to say that in the rap, and I know that don't really play a factor into your skill set. So I was wondering how much of a factor, if any, did that play into kind of your introduction into the music game?
I wouldn't say introduction because okay, I grew up in Compton. When I first started rapping, I was a 6-7-year-old in Compton.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
J Rock right over there in Watts and different areas of LA too. But we not like this. It's not no situation that's my cousin. No, our daddies are brothers. You know what I'm saying?
Different.
This is my cousin that I see damn near every weekend
First
or.
cousin.
Yeah, he's over at our put it like this. I don't know if any of y'all had that situation, but my grandmother lived with us. The grandmother we shared.
Mm-hmm.
That grandmother, you gon' see all your cousins
Yeah.
all the time. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So, for the most part, we been doing stuff together. You know what I'm saying, and stuff like that. Now there was a point where there was a small gap where we didn't communicate because I moved to Oxnard, and Oxnard is my mom's side of the family. And we didn't have the courtesy of like cell phones and,
Right,
and social
right.
media and things like that. So you see them at like places like Thanksgiving, Easter, things like that. So
Major holidays.
what happened though? I was doing music. I dropped me and Sean Biggs dropped a project called Straight Out the Ox that Q1047 had promoted they ass off of that project, and that's the project that really I got notoriety. I was 19 when that project dropped. You know what I'm saying? This is at the time that groups like Nevermind and Earthquake Institute, Big Bear from the radio station, shout out to Quay, Mambo, all of them, Jay Scratch. Jay Scratch is on that album. You know what I'm saying? These guys actually helped us. They were throwing us on stage in front of whoever. We were opening up for whoever. We were around everybody. Like, you know, whoever was coming up there, they was, you know, doing that. So Sean Biggs, it was his go, right? Because he was the one that was ready. I wasn't ready at that time. Like, I can't say I was ready at that time. Sean Biggs was ready, though. We ran into a manager. This dude was connected, and he started doing things for us, and we had been moving on music. Radio, like I said, they were playing our songs in regular rotation.
Before that.
Yeah. What are you talking about? Me and J-Rock's grandmother, our grandmother died in 2006, on March 9, 2006. Shortly after that, the funeral, right? Now, J-Rock had I guess he had just dropped a single called Lift Me Up. I don't know if anybody's familiar with that. But he had just dropped that, and you know, he was getting some buzz in LA. So naturally, one day he's in the studio with this dude named Big Chuck. Big Chuck happens to be the person that Sean Biggs is signed to. Drama Family, shout out Drama Family. Through SRC, Steve Rifkin. I know y'all know who Steve Rifkin is. Steve Rifkin signed Sean Biggs, Oxnard legend, Sean Biggs. Sean drops Never Gonna Get It. And Sean I don't know if he gonna say anything about this or anything, or if he has said anything, but I inspired him to write that verse. He got a song with Akon called Never Gonna Get It. It's on Fight Night Round 2. It was on the Take the Lead soundtrack with Antonio Banderas.
That's right.
All of that.
Yeah.
He doing his thing. I'm this guy. I'm the guy that's, you know, in the middle of all of that. Big Chuck is Drama Family. He has his deal with Steve Rifkin. He's looking for a guy. They signed Sean Biggs, my right hand man.
Right.
Big Chuck is at the studio with TDE. Somehow my name comes up. I guess it's because of Oxnard or whatever, you know. That's my cousin. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Of course, J-Rock calls me, hey, you know Big Chuck? I'm like, yeah, that's the homie. Oh, he right here, blah, 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 blah. We talked for a little bit. It was, you know, some small world shit.
Right.
But what I'm saying is he met Big Chuck. Big Chuck is legendary, bro. Like Rodney Jerkins was just talking about Big Chuck on the Breakfast Club. Big Chuck is who Superhead was talking about in the book. You know what I'm saying? No, for real. That's like, not I don't know they was smashing or nothing, but that was Superhead's right hand. I'm saying these are the people that I'm around all the time. And this is before me and J-Rock started. That wasn't even when J-Rock started, you know, moving around with me. You know what I'm saying? So, you know, we drop a few songs and things like that. Like I said, the radio station was playing. We, you know, I'm in the streets. I'm selling crack, like in the streets, and I'm still, you know, doing stuff. Sean Biggs, he winds up moving. All this stuff. My manager at the time, he started linking me with Suge Knight, Brian McKnight. Brian McKnight's the first dude that ever gave me a shot at anything. Gave me $5,000 for a verse. And it's on his album 10. The song is called Can't Leave You Alone. But I'm moving around with Suge and Brian McKnight. I'm writing for some of Suge's artists. I wrote hooks for Danny Boy, all of that shit, right? All of this is taking place. You know what I'm saying? I go to prison for selling crack. I come home from jail. I'm like, it's time for me to like move. Sean Biggs, he's still on my team, but even he's like, yeah, you got to do something. You know what I mean? My homeboy Superman Joseph Villegas, he starts managing me. Like, you got to drop something. I said, cool. I put together a bunch of my old songs or whatever, MP3s, low quality. I put them all together. I did some freestyles and made it a project called it Black Friday. I get a call from J-Rock after I dropped it. He like, hey, nigga, it's crazy. I just named my shit Black Friday. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, damn, man, I already put my shit out because I probably would have changed it. But he's like, nah, I heard that intro, though. He was like, you killed that shit. You trying to go on tour? And I'm like, shit, when? You know? I know he at that time, he had just signed, TDE had signed him to do a joint venture with Tech Nine and them, right? At the time. This is 2011 when this is happening. When he tells me this.
That's crazy.
I go to prison in 2009. I get out I go to prison in 2000. Well, I get arrested in 2008. I get out in 2010. By 2011, this is when J-Rock is like, you know, because he had came up to Oxnard a few times, so he knew. But when he heard that intro, he was like, nah, like, I need you to do my hype man shit. I'm like, cool. So then we go, I say April of 2011 is when we got to start, you know, gearing up for the tour, getting ready, stuff like that, like practicing and stuff. I wind up finding out that I'm not going to be the hype man. I wind up finding out with the homie EMJ. So we wind up going on tour, and, you know, you get your politic on, your networking and stuff, meeting all of these execs.
Yep.
Now I'm on a first name basis with Tech and Chris Calico. All of these people you start running into, MGK and Yellow Wolf, and these people are just around. Twista, all of them are people that just around. With J-Rock, running into Snoop and you know, BJ the Chicago Kid, Future, Sierra, back when they were together.
Right.
Like hanging out with all of them. So yes, like J-Rock helped, but I had a whole nother life before then. You know what I'm saying? And I literally had there was times where because the next tour I went on, I wound up being this hype man because God bless the dead. MJ passed away while we were on the first tour. So I went into full hype man mode, and it was at this time where you start getting your notoriety because what TDE does is the next man up, they get like a small little set on the set. So when I'm over at the merch booth, you got people, you know, coming up. They want your autograph. They want your picture. So then they ask them, where can we find you? You know, so I start getting fans. You know, like, yeah. Well, no, it was Facebook by then.
Facebook.
Yeah.
Right.
But
MySpace, niggas.
No. That's where I was dropping a lot of the stuff when I was with Suge and them. That's where I was dropping a lot of the stuff. But for the record, it's like, yeah, man, like, I get it, but y'all ain't never heard me. Me and J-Rock got records together. He never dropped. But what I'm saying is, like, y'all ain't never seen me on a J-Rock album, bro. Y'all might have seen me in a video or two or something like that, in a J-Rock video or two, but y'all never seen me around. The reason y'all know about J-Rock is because he comes to Oxnard to kick it.
Right.
He literally was at Q Club. Literally was at Q Club shooting pool and thugging it out. Literally at Casa Lopez, like drinking Hennessy and chilling. And I brought J-Rock to a house party in Oxnard.
That's cool.
For real.
That's cool.
For real. Shout out to homegirl Miana. I brought yeah.
You know Maya?
Yeah, I know Maya.
Yeah, that's my sister.
Okay. I didn't know that. Yeah. But that's what I'm saying. I brought he goes to the house parties and stuff, so people are wondering like what
So
I don't talk about me and J-Rock's relationship, y'all do. Like, you know what I'm saying? Or I can't help what a blogger say because they know me and his relationship. But what I'm saying is I don't go around here rapping and saying my cousin is J-Rock. I don't do that. You know what I'm saying? Y'all talk about that because y'all seen him and y'all wanted to know the relation, and some people know. But that's it. But yeah, he played a like I said, I had a whole musical life before him. And though before me and him started doing things musically. And you know, I was his hype man for a minute, but every time after that, I show up to the shows. We ain't talking music. That's my cousin. Me and that nigga send every day. I'll show you my inbox right now. Me and that nigga just send videos back and forth. Back and forth to each other all day long. That's because that's my nigga. You know what I'm saying? We don't talk about no music. We might have a few jokes for shit like. You know, when we see something like the whole Diddy shit or something, we might talk. But bro, it's family shit. It's like, we talk about like regular shit. We ain't sitting up here doing all of that. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
so
that's fair. Yeah, well,
But no. For the record, like the E40 thing that came through Dave Weiner and Ben Grassi. I don't meet Dave Weiner if I'm not on tour with J-Rock. So. If you want to say that,
it co-aligns, but
it's
but
not
you gotta
like
do
your
did
thing.
it.
You got to do your. J-Rock never handed me nothing.
You still got to do your work.
Yeah. He do his thing and he don't hand me nothing and he support me. That's it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, respect. I like
one of your biggest projects, I guess your latest project that you dropped, Night on Wolf Street. to this day still making noise. This nigga real quick though, and everybody
Yeah.
still talking about that shit.
Yeah.
Birds of a Feather still get played on 805 CTC radio all the time.
Yeah.
You had features with Ray J and The Game on the album, just to
Mhm.
name a few. What was that session like working with Ray J, bro?
Ray J was I'll tell you some funny shit. Well, first off, like shout out to Ray J. My homeboy Bird, Bird was doing security. Anybody ever seen my little club runs in Ventura County? They seen Bird with me most of the time. But Bird, you know, he started moving around with Love and Hip Hop and all of them. And Bird played my you know how your songs are being shuffled. So Ray J wanted to know who it was. Bird told him. He called me with Ray J right there. Ray J was like, "Hey man, that shit hard, blah blah blah." Like, that was you on the hook? Yeah, that was me. Hey, what you doing tonight? You know what I mean? I ain't doing nothing. Where you at? You know what I'm saying? Let's eat, like, I'll pull up this, that, and the third. So we booked the session at Paramount Studios, and you know, Ray J, he wasn't like super on time, but he was on time pretty much.
Yeah.
He walked up in there, he brought his management with him, Safari, Nicki Minaj's folks, you know, brought him with him, and you know, we probably you know, he listened to a few records because he wanted to hear more than just that, you know, just to make sure.
Yeah.
But I played, and he was like tripping, like, I don't understand, bro. Like, what? How you sitting on all of this shit? Like, I'm like, well, I'm about to drop it. He's like, yeah, but yeah, like this isn't no developmental like of like just a few weeks, like where it's been at,
Right.
like yeah, you know. So we probably, but you know, Ray J, I think he don't eat pork or something like that. So me and the homeboy, he's courteous. I'll say this because me and the homeboy was on some, like, we live in Oxnard, so we don't get Roscoe's and shit like that. So I'm like, man, I want some Roscoe's. We eat pizza all. We got the best pizza right here.
Converse.
Yeah, like, you know what I'm saying? So, you know, Ray J he was trying to be courteous. Yeah, well, we just don't want to send the runner everywhere, and we can't get nothing. You know what? Go ahead. Give me pepperoni, this, that, and the third. You know, all that. I think he don't eat pork because he was like, man, I'd rather just have a cheese. So he was like, y'all order y'all's and order mine. He ordered cheese pizza. We ordered he ordered cheese pizza. We ordered wings, combo pizzas, all kind of shit. He ordered, you know, red wine and shit like that. So his boys come in. A few of his boys, his management comes in, and niggas like, they just start going to work on our pizza. You know what I'm saying? Like, literally, and I'm in the booth. I'm laying some shit down in the booth. They killing our shit, bro. Like, I come out, it's like one slice of pizza left, right? I look over at Ray J's pizza, cheese pizza, they get just one slice missing.
Hurt.
I go right over to his pizza. I grab me about 3 slices. I didn't ask nothing though. But he wasn't tripping. We just, you know, it was a good vibe.
Easy, bro.
Your shit, bro.
It was a good vibe. He taught me a lot of shit, like as far as etiquette when it comes down to recording and stuff like that. He taught me a lot of that in that session, which some of the shit I was hip on. He was preaching to the choir, so to speak. But there was a lot of shit that I learned, like, new up in there. And yeah, it was a dope session. By the time we was done, all them niggas was got their phones out like, hey, what's your number?
Yeah,
Like,
that's tight.
let's
that's dope.
let's do whatever.
Yeah.
I wrote a song for Safari actually after him and Nicki stopped, but
You
that
need
nigga
that.
he didn't
You
do
need
it.
people
I
to
was
write
dissing.
songs with
Yeah, I
him.
was going crazy. On that.
Got God on my side, pass with a crash.
Yeah,
said,
no,
"Oh
it
my
was
Bunch of rap
gosh.
shit,
I
fatal
wrote-
attraction,
I wrote some shit called
ripping
New
on any
Shorty.
beat.
Yeah, I wrote some
Ain't
shit.
it, y'all.
I wrote some shit for him called New Shorty, and it was hard, bruh. Like, I wrote it like from my perspective and hit through his eyes though.
Yeah.
And he heard it. He thought it was dope. But yeah, shout out Safari too.
How did your relationship with the game turn into the song?
I ain't really have a relationship with the game like that. I wanted Jadakiss, and I called my bro Ono and told him, I want Jadakiss, but I want to shoot for the moon first.
Yeah.
So I knew Ono had contact with Method Man. So I was like, what's up with Method Man? And he's just like, man, I don't want to fuck with Method Man right now. He was on that shit.
Yeah.
So I was like, well, let's try to do Jadakiss. The Jadakiss shit was taking too long, right, to get a response. So OG Muggs from Strange Music, he do security for E40 and Tech 9. he actually had to connect to Whack 100. I actually was listening to Game's documentary too. And this is right before, see, we was gonna drop it, but we needed like some other things on it. The album was done though, and then documentary 2 literally drops, and all of those beats sound like the beats, the lane that I was going.
Yeah.
So I was like, well, game might
on
be,
it.
yeah, it might,
hard,
and
yeah.
it's gonna be an easy, call. So I called Muggs, my phone rung, and I answered the phone. It was Whack. We talked briefly about the record. He said, all right, well, send it to me. Gonna see if we can, you know what I'm saying? And he gave me the price. It was about 5,000 higher than I thought it was gonna be. But my
5,000 higher.
I
Then
thought
you
that.
thought it would
yes.
be. Yeah, it's
Okay.
crazy. Yeah.
Higher.
yeah, the homie, he had my back though. He just told me, man, whatever, like just
Yeah.
see what the nigga verse sound like. So Whack told me he gonna give me a call the next morning.
Yeah.
It actually took about 2 days, and I woke up in the middle of the night to my my phone, my email pinging. And shit, I played that shit. My wife, my ex-wife was on the side of me and all of that. Like I played it on high. Woke up and closed the
Late as
freezer. I'm
fuck,
like,
bro.
all right. I couldn't go to sleep. Shit, I had to get up.
Had to get up, get
Walk
juice
around
real
the house.
quick.
Yeah,
Start
walk
the
around the
day.
house.
That's
I'm like,
fire,
I'm sitting up
bro.
there like,
Yeah.
But I've met Game a few times. Like, for those who don't know, Game used to come up to Colonia Gym and hoop. And a lot of people
Oh,
don't
for
know
real?
that.
No, I
Yeah,
didn't know that.
a lot of people.
Yeah,
A lot of people listen. Between who hoop in here? Y'all hoop?
I
Everybody
do.
hoop? Look, Colonia Gym.
Yes.
In between
I ain't
2001.
hoop, but yeah.
Look, between 2001
Can't
and
hoop.
2004, Colonia Gym was the business.
That's
Okay.
lit.
I'm talking about people from slam ball. I don't know if y'all remember slam ball.
Yeah, bro.
College basketball players, all the best Ventura County hoopers,
Yes.
all went to Colonia Gym. I remember Brian McKnight showed up. This is before me and Brian
when
McKnight
everybody
linked up.
was
This is
cool.
before we linked up.
Yeah.
Brian McKnight showed up. The whole Colonia was in there, bro. It looked like a big ass junior college game.
What's so special about the gym?
I don't know, man. But they was
It was
coming
like
up
the
from the
rec
valley.
gym. It was
Yeah.
like the rec
Okay.
gym, yeah,
They
out
was
here.
coming up.
Probably out the way, so it's
Yeah.
Nick
just like-
Cannon was over there.
Yeah, they be coming. They come up and hoop.
That's
They'll
interesting.
come up
That's
and hoop.
interesting.
But
That's
their game
interesting.
came a couple times to come hoop at Colonia Gym, and so I met him around then. And then, like I said, being around TDE, like I was with them a lot, and he was showing up to shows. So after the Right Back to the Money, I had seen him because Whack did. It was to me it was funny, but to business people it might be like typical business, based on the fact that paid the money. He told me that Game would do the record, and he would do the video if I paid extra or whatever. My understanding was I could pay you the extra when we ready, but
You wanted the extra
Upfront.
now.
he wanted the
Upfront,
extra
yeah,
now, so
yeah.
they was trying to charge me a whole $30,000 to get the video done. And I was like, oh yeah, that just means you just don't want to do it.
Right.
So,
Yeah.
I ran into Game at Topanga Mall and spoke to him briefly, and it was I didn't like the way our exchange went, but I never really like all of the instances that I ran in the game or seen him, it was never like all the way love. It was just like, cool.
What's up, man?
Just
Yeah.
meeting.
So so me and Game ain't really had no relationship. He's still one of my favorite artists. That
That man can
ever.
rap.
Yeah.
People be
Doctor-
sleeping on, bro.
Yeah,
that's
Doctor's
fire.
Advocate.
Rap,
Doctor's
rap.
Advocate. Doctor's Advocate is one of my favorite albums all
I
time.
love Game.
Yeah, and
cold as
yeah,
fuck.
so we didn't necessarily have no relationship though. It was like strictly business. I reached out to him through his management. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying?
That was when he was younger, though. Because
This
he's
was
changed.
2016.
2016.
Oh, that's right.
Mhm.
When documentary 2 came
Yeah.
out. That's right. Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's still like,
Yes.
Yeah.
About 10 years ago. Yeah.
Yeah.
still recent.
And you see personalities and you hear stuff, so you know where to put yourself.
Yeah.
And I know how important J Rock, Kendrick, and Q and all of them were to the music industry.
Yeah.
So I wouldn't dare make anything about me. You know what I'm saying? And by no
feel you.
means am I
Yeah.
saying, oh, me and Game gotta run that
Right,
fade.
right,
I'm not
right.
saying that. I'm just
Right.
saying like, there a younger me was tripping. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying?
Yeah.
Like, but it never went down like that because I had to be respectful.
Absolutely.
This ain't, you know, I'm invited here. You
Yeah.
know what I'm saying?
That's
If you
real,
can
man. That's real.
remember, what was your favorite session on the album versus your favorite song on the project?
I think my favorite session had to be collection plates, because I was excited about collection plates because that was an actual experience of me going up to the altar for prayer and literally hearing like one of the ministers or deacons saying he smelled like weed. And I know I hadn't smoked weed, but who knows with my clothes. I don't know if I'm the only person that did this, but if anybody ever went to church, went to the club before church and wore the same thing they wore at the club,
I'm sure.
I'm sure.
One of the homies that.
You're
Yeah,
not the
sure.
first.
You're not
Yeah.
the first at all.
Yeah.
It was
So-
a fit last night, nigga.
yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Shit
Run it
looked
back.
nice last night, nigga.
It looked like
It was fresh.
Stun
So
on you niggas today.
I know I didn't smoke weed that day,
Yeah.
but I might have been around
night
it.
before.
Yeah, the
Right,
night before,
right,
and
right.
he said I heard him say that, and that prompted me like, you know, that week to write collections plates. Like, do I like? Okay, so if I actually pay for this, like, you know, I mean, I'm selling weed and selling this, that, and the third. I put this in the collection plate. Do it count? like, that was really a thought.
No, that's a fair thought to
Yeah,
ask,
it was
though. I
really
like
a
that.
thought.
I
Like,
that.
this guy, like, you know, is
Accept
he
it.
Where the money
is
come
he
from?
tripping over it? Like,
Yeah.
you know, so that prompted me.
That's lit.
No,
Yeah,
that's a very fair question.
yeah. I
to
heard the beat,
ponder, yeah,
and I
yeah.
did, and I was real excited about it. But that off of that project, that might have been. It might have been either that or it might have been Colors, because I gave Ono, who produced the Colors beat, I gave him that idea before I went there, and he didn't let me hear the beat until I got to the studio, and then I penned it while I was there. And shout out to Ono, because when we were doing his records for Nightmare on Wolf Street, I wasn't able to come to his house until about 10 o'clock at night,
Yeah.
and I wouldn't leave until about 4 in the morning. And Ono, anybody know Ono? He smoked like crazy, like weed,
Like Willie Nelson.
man. But he don't allow you to take 2 puffs and shit like that. He's like some of the white people, like they smoke, they take a puff and pass it,
Oh, so it's puff like
puff pass, puff
Yeah,
pass,
not
puff
two,
pass.
not two, right.
And while you doing that, he's rolling up another one. He's literally, while you guys are going
Yeah,
back and forth, he's
yeah.
rolling up another one. So when that's done, and I tried to hang with him one night, and I
That's
literally,
funny as fuck.
yeah,
It is, ain't it?
I got to my car.
People got their own way of shit.
Yeah, I thought I was gonna lay down and take a nap in my
Yeah.
car.
Yeah.
Man, I woke up, the sun was out.
God damn.
I had like 3 missed calls from my grandmother because she
Trying to
had
get
my
to
daughter.
work.
Like,
Yup.
I'm
yup.
like, dude.
what the
Yeah.
fuck?
Yeah.
Fuck with this
What
Yeah.
just
nigga all night.
happened?
Yeah, oh no, man. Shout out to Ono to Disrupt.
We talked about the past. Let's talk about a little bit of the future, and then we're gonna play the game and get you the fuck up out of here.
Mm-hmm.
It's 3:06. We good?
Yeah, we good.
All right, bet. What's next? What's the next project for you? What you got lined up?
Shit. I was hoping we was gonna drop Killer King by the 4th of July, but I
Right.
don't know what the possibility is.
Yep.
But
Hey.
do got Killer King right now. Trying to get the record I'm trying to get the record that I got with Sir. Trying to get that cleared.
Yeah.
It's difficult. It's very difficult because Sir is like,
Yeah.
Gotta
So-
talk
Hoops
to
you gotta jump
everybody
through,
and
huh?
shit.
Yeah.
and you know, certain people that, you know, they got better things to deal with than some dude that just got a record and he ain't
Sure.
paying.
So people don't understand about
He ain't
being
paying
independent
30,000.
still,
Yeah,
Right.
he ain't paying 30,000 for this.
Up
So
front, then
yeah,
Right.
or whatever Sir is getting
Yeah.
paid. But trying to get that clear is really, you know, is really hard, and pretty much just knocking these videos out. But for the most part, you know, Killer King 1, Killer King 2, and Off With His Head, they finished pretty much. I
That's
probably
tight.
want to add or subtract, but they pretty much finished, and that's pretty much it. Hopefully, Killer
Is
King will
a-
be dropped by the end of July. Hopefully.
Okay.
We can do it before.
We gonna do it
It's done.
before, but it's done. But what I'm saying is,
It'll
Coming
be out,
soon.
nigga.
Coming
It'll be
soon.
out. It'll be
Yeah.
out for sure.
Coming
We could
soon.
probably
Okay.
get it before the 4th of July.
yeah, let's get it.
hell yeah.
But that's pretty much it, man.
Yeah, that's
Doing
tight.
all that.
Okay.
That's tight.
And then for those that don't know, you almost gave up this music shit. Talk to us about what was that thought process like? Well, like, why did you go into that, and then what makes you know that this is the backstretch of it? Like, give us your thought process on why you did hang it up, why you picked the jersey back up, and then why you gonna put the jersey back down.
Niggas wouldn't let me put the jersey down. They wouldn't let me. When I was locked up in prison, I felt like all of this stuff was pretty much based. All of my criminal history was pretty much based around music. From me trying to be free to record, whatever. So I was always, that's what I blamed it on. So when I actually got out of prison, I was over music. I wasn't about to do it. I was like, man, let me do my shit, and I was over it. But what happened was, Gutter Rock, everybody know DJ Gutter Rock, and I talked to Ono, and they both was like, oh no, we don't even want to, we don't even want to hear that. Like we're not going through none of that. So, I still go ahead.
I was gonna say, so that's I mean that's tough on your mental because you're dealing with wanting to let it go, and then you're dealing with the pressure of, well, you can't do it. So
listen, when you a low level crack dealer or weed dealer or whatever, when you low level like that, your family still got to pick it up. They still got to help you where you can't.
You ain't
help
making enough to help.
You ain't making enough for it to be good for everybody. You know what I'm saying? So for me, at that moment, if I'm not coming out to $150,000, it wasn't gonna work for me because now you asking me to
risk it again,
risk
to
it
do
again,
that.
and everybody. And at this point, I got a 3.5-year-old at that moment who's looking at me, literally my namesake, who's looking at me like I kind of know you, but I just know that we were in a different atmosphere the last time I seen you. And you had to sit across from me and they wouldn't let you move. That's it. Exactly. So I'm like, dang, I got to cultivate this relationship with him.
That's a lot to juggle,
Exactly. I got to cultivate this relationship. I got to figure out how to help out, how to make up for this, because now my daughter's in Arizona. My oldest daughter's in Arizona. My middle daughter, she's in Las Vegas. My son's about to go to college. He about to be calling me for groceries. And
that's a lot, bro.
Yeah, so in regards to that, it was just like, you know what, I gotta hang it up. That's what I was feeling. But going to therapy and all of that, they help you to realize, bro, it wasn't the drugs.
Right.
It wasn't. It wasn't the music that put you in. It was your decisions. You know what I'm saying? And you made those decisions, and when that happened, it was over with. You know what I'm saying? So. Do the music, but, put the music on the back burner. Put your family first. And that's what I did. So that's what it took me. A lot of people that know what's up, man. They know I just got married in February, and they know I've been, thank you. They know I've been like, moving around trying to upgrade, as far as professionally. Like, the money just became important because if you look around and see where the world is today, it's like, you can't just move around here making 60,000.
No, you can't.
It ain't gonna work.
No, you
so,
can't. Not out here in California, man.
So so how am I gonna do that? And in the climate we in today, and call myself trying to do the rap shit. So at this point, it just ain't about the money. At this point,
no, that makes sense.
It's about it's the fact that I love hip hop. The only reason I'm getting Killer King done and all of that is because I love hip hop. It has nothing to do with money. So
and that's all you need too is that love, bro. Right? That's all you need.
Yeah, pretty much.
Shit finna go
all right, it's game time. So we gonna play a simple game. It's called Black and White. I'm gonna give you two choices, this side or this side. You're gonna pick what side suits you. Cool, easy. Pharrell or Kanye?
Kanye.
You can elaborate on any of these if you want to. Jay-Z or Nas?
Jay-Z. Jay-Z was instrumental in my growth as an MC.
Okay.
Even though I mess with Nas, it was Jay's like story that I paid more attention to. Nas, I didn't understand him at a part. I've grown to appreciate Nas now today because, and it's all because of the King's Disease and Magic.
For real.
Yeah. Those Nas albums I appreciate, but I just
first and second one were great.
Yeah. But Jay-Z.
DMX or Lil Wayne?
That's a hard one.
Dang, I know, man. Cause hold on.
Hard as fuck.
That is.
Look, DMX. okay, I'd say DMX because DMX was actually instrumental in this shit too.
Mm-hmm.
I'll just leave it at that. I'll say DMX.
Drake or
enough.
Kendrick?
Kendrick.
Chris Brown or Usher?
And I heard your text.
Man, fuck you, nigga.
Hey, no Kendrick.
Kendrick got the beef. I'll let you have it right now.
No. I'm just saying, like there was a time where I was around Kendrick.
Yeah,
exactly.
All the time, so-
but that's
Right.
home team.
Yeah,
That's
exactly.
Right.
I'm rolling with Kendrick.
Yeah.
Loyalty.
I'd be forgetting that.
Yeah.
too.
That's literally home
Yeah.
team.
Chris Brown or Usher?
I hate you.
That one's wild.
Usher. I think
Yeah,
I think
love it.
Usher's 10 what is it? 8701.
Yes,
Yeah.
sir.
Bro,
I
what?
think that
Yes,
is
sir.
the most underrated.
100%.
Like for
Oh,
real.
man.
Like how
R&B
y'all
album
like
of
because
all time.
Confessions is
It's,
hard.
Come on
Confessions just out of here. So
Yeah.
it made it niggas forget about 87.
Forget about
That's
87.
such a
I'm
good
like-
fact, though, Chuck.
Yeah.
That's, a
That's
really
probably
good
the
fact.
most
Yeah.
underrated
Yes.
R&B
Yes.
album for real. That's
But I
actually
love
the GOAT.
Really good
Confessions.
point.
I love Confessions and I like 8701, but I would pick any of them because I know those albums. I don't know like Chris Brown albums like
Top
that.
to-
Well, his
Yeah, top to bottom.
his
like
albums
that.
aren't notoriously always that
The
good.
greatest.
Yeah.
They're not
Yeah.
the greatest.
He has
Yeah.
great songs.
Ty Dolla
Yes.
Sign or T-Fly?
Ty.
The Game or Rick Ross?
Game.
Meek Mill or Wale?
Meek Mill. To me, because I like the
Mhm,
street shit.
mhm.
Yeah.
Why,
Me too.
Wale, like I like
I love
his
Wale.
intellectual,
Poetic, yeah.
you know,
Me
he's
too.
poetic and
That's
stuff.
it,
Yep.
But I like street shit too.
Yeah,
so
can't sleep on
I
Wale.
feel
and
that.
and I like you know how you take all your favorite MCs and gumbo them.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Meek Mill was one of those that I
Ooh,
gumbo.
in there.
Yeah, in the
Enough
gumbo.
said.
You got to put Meek
Yep.
Mill energy in
Absolutely.
there. If you ain't got
Absolutely.
Meek
Yeah.
energy in there.
Absolutely. Period.
Nipsey Hussle or Schoolboy Q?
Schoolboy.
Hey.
Mm-hmm.
Why-
Well, for me, you know,
Yeah.
TD.
Yeah.
Yourself,
Yeah.
That's crazy. That's
YG or Tyga?
YG.
Tyler the Creator.
Oh, hold on. YG. YG story. Did any of y'all remember Tavern?
Yeah.
Yeah. It just reopened.
Oh, it did?
Yeah.
All right. Before that, like I've been around YG a gang of times before then. He actually came up here a few times and shut it down. But I guess they were on tour with Mac Miller
Mhm.
or whatever. And they were
Hey,
coming, it was the
Mac.
Santa Barbara Bowl, right?
Mhm.
Yeah.
I knew that. I had got wind that they was gonna stop in Ventura, but I was going to Tavern anyways. My boy Bird that I was telling y'all that he was working in Tavern. We at the front, I'm talking to Bird, and you know, a group of dudes is walking up. Two of them, YG and DJ Mustard.
Yeah.
Or a tavern?
Listen,
That's crazy.
they walking up. We in the front where people show their IDs and
Yeah.
stuff. They getting, you know, they checking IDs. Dude stop YG, tell him he can't get in.
Huh?
They like, what's going on? He's like, he has a backpack. So YG showing him. He got the big YG chain in
Yeah,
there,
Yeah.
and he got his laptop in there.
Mhm.
He's like, bro, I'm not leaving this in the
Right.
car.
Right.
You know what I'm
No,
saying?
no,
Like,
no,
yeah.
no, no.
And he's like, well, you got to figure it out. You know how these security in Ventura, they be overdoing it.
Racist.
I said, whoa, hold
so
on.
stupid.
I
They
literally
are.
walk up.
They are.
I literally walk up. I said, whoa. Bro, this is YG, and DJ
and
Mustard.
Yeah.
You are
Stop.
tripping if
Stop.
you don't let them in right now. And I said, bro, what does he have in his bag? YG opens the bag again. He's like, I just got my chain and my laptop. I'm like, bro, you gotta let him. He's like, I don't care. They're not getting in. Literally, everybody that was in the front, imagine that. Imagine you being in the
That's
front.
fucked up.
Literally everybody in the front with
Turn
YG and
around.
Mustard.
Yeah.
When YG and
walk
Mustard
right
left,
out.
everybody followed them
right
too. They
out.
lost literally like 50 or 60 people.
It's a lot of money.
Cause they sitting up, shit, we going to party with
Wherever
them
they
niggas.
going, we
Yeah.
going,
That's where we
nigga.
going. Man, I was telling that dude, bro, like
You
for
the
the
dumbest
longest, like you
motherfucker.
an
You an
idiot.
idiot.
yeah,
You're an idiot.
yeah. But YG, yeah.
Tyler the Creator or Vince Staples?
Vince Staples, Northside Long Beach. That's where I grew up.
Hey,
Dr. Dre or DJ Quick?
Quick because of my mama.
shout out to Quay.
Ice Cube solo or Ice Cube with NWA?
Ice Cube solo. Steady Mobbin', my favorite Ice Cube song.
That's fine.
Yeah.
Don Kennedy or Larry June?
Larry June, because my wife put me on Larry June. And Dom Kennedy, I met him a few times, but I'm not necessarily into it.
I don't like
Right.
that type of
Well,
stuff.
I'm just saying it's not for me. That's it.
They the
But-
same
There,
nigga
I
though.
was just about to say that.
No,
Nah,
I
Larry
like
June.
Larry June. I like
is a
him
whole
more.
different breed.
Yeah, he different. I
He's
like
a
him
whole
more.
different breed. I get what you're saying as far as the
influence.
feeling,
Yes.
but them lyrics,
He say shit
yeah,
different.
yeah,
He
that's
be-
a shit different, man.
Reason or Absol?
Absol, solo,
Blast or Bino?
Blast.
That's cold.
Yup.
D Smoke or Sir?
Can I take a drink or something? I just seen D Smoke last night. We were
Aren't
just
they
together
fucking
last
brothers?
night.
That's right.
Aren't
But,
they brothers?
Aren't they, I was just about to say that they're brothers.
Yeah.
Like, blood
Yeah.
brothers, right?
Yeah.
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 We can skip it.
It's some shit I'll tell you off camera.
Sure.
But
We can skip
yeah.
Uh,
it. RJ or Greedo?
RJ. I'm saying RJ based on, like, I don't necessarily know either one of them, their music like that, but I've heard more of RJ.
Then
For
Greedo.
real?
And yeah, my daughter's
Me
a fan of RJ.
Damn.
You know, my daughter's a fan
I
of
ran
RJ.
into Greedo twice in the last 3 months, for
Mhm.
real, and got to chop it up. with him.
Random?
He's a cool dude.
Yeah.
Draco or Shoreline? Draco the Ruler or Shoreline Mafia?
I don't know. I like to stay out of that. Are they aren't they the?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can't.
Corrupt or Exhibit?
Corrupt.
West Side Boogie.
Corrupt on the album too, by the way. Killer King.
Hey.
That's tight.
Yeah.
West Side Boogie
Classic.
or I forget this nigga. G Perico.
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 Oh, Perico.
G Perico.
G
I was
Perico.
in the feds with some of his homeboys.
That's tight.
They called.
Yeah, Broadway.
Fast cars or old schools?
Old schools.
R&B or gangster rap?
R&B.
Mac and cheese or pasta?
Mac and cheese.
Hot or cold?
Hot.
Time travel to the past or the future?
Future.
Ice cream or cake?
Cake.
Movies or shows?
What kind of shows?
Any show you want.
Oh, you talking about like
A series.
TV
Oh,
shows.
nah,
Yeah.
movies.
Uh,
We sit up and watch Harlem Nights 100 times
you.
Harlem Nights
a
that
week
one.
at the house.
nigga was just talking about it too. I know it's a fact. Minimalist or maximalist?
Maximalist. Oh, hold on situation.
Yeah,
Yeah.
any way you want to look at it.
Mhm.
I try to die it
whatever.
down. Like you mean, like I'm saying, like
Any way you want to look at it.
Oh,
How you live
man.
your life? Do you live it to the max? Like you know I'm gonna go all in, or I just need the minimal. and
it's
shit.
what dang, it's kind of like whatever I need to do or whatever I feel. So at some aspects of life I go, but some I go minimal out of protection for my
Right.
my people. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, got you. Comedy or drama?
Comedy,
Giving or receiving?
giving,
Love or loyalty?
except for
Oh, Lord.
Man.
Giving or receiving?
You said
No,
love-
love or loyalty?
I don't think anybody is really 1000% loves you like that.
Mm.
Or they gonna be loyal when they feel like being loyal. I say that, especially growing up in Oxnard. So I'll say love.
Shots fired.
Yeah.
Facing fears or facing vulnerabilities?
Ooh. Fears.
Being right or being happy?
Anybody that knows me, they know I'm right about everything.
There you go, man.
I'm right about everything.
There
So
you
being
go.
right or being happy,
Being right or being happy?
I don't think that anybody's ever fully happy. So I'll say being right.
Mm.
Yeah.
And I'm gonna overdo it when I'm right. I told you. I'm gonna say I told you for about a
I
week.
told you so.
Would you rather have more time or more money?
More time.
Burning or drowning to death?
Yo. Drown, I guess.
I guess.
There you go.
And the last one for me, peace or power?
Peace.
And explain and elaborate.
Well, with peace, like with a lot of power, if we talking about power and you comparing it to peace,
Mm.
if we have power, then there's a lot of wars. Get him.
Right.
I just think peace keeps everything cool. I've never been a fan of bullies.
Right.
Yeah.
Bullies like low key exalt their power and everything that
That's what starts the circle.
yeah, pretty much.
Yeah.
They'll pick a defect or a disability or something and they'll prey on that. That's what
Yeah.
I feel like bullies are.
Mhm.
I feel like peace peaceful people are the real street niggas, the real gangsters. I always tell
Everything's
people
peaceful.
everything's always peaceful. You know what I'm saying?
There's
You gonna
always
keep
misconceptions.
yeah,
that fuck
and it's
up
only
everything.
peaceful because you're thinking about everybody
Every
else.
situation.
Yeah,
everything that can go.
so like that's what I feel.
Yeah, I agree.
That's real.
Yeah.
We got anything else from my mans?
Not specific.
That
Solid.
camera right there. Let them know where they can follow you, what they can tap into, how they can get the next music, what they got. Any all that good plug.
Yeah, Killer King.
At.
No, no,
Killer King.
no. At King Harris II on all platforms. You can get go Spotify, Apple Music, Amazon Music, everything. IG, everything is King Harris. Nightmare on Wolf Street out now. Killer King coming soon, and yeah, that's pretty much what we at.
Oh yeah.
Big up.
Let's give him a round of
Shit.
fuck
Big
applause
ups.
in this
Yeah.
Big
bitch.
ups.
Shout out to all my kids, Jordan,
Sure.
Jordan X, Journey, King Kamayu, Michaela. Shout out my wife. I'll be home in a minute.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
All love,
Tell her
all
I'm
love.
on D-Way.
I'm
Straight
on
up.
D-Way.
Call the wife.
Well, yeah, man, we're the
Yeah, call the
Iceberg.
wife, tell her I'm
Call
on
D-Way.
Yeah.
Well, we're the Iceberg
Straight up.
Lounge. I'm the name Uno, Phyllis Driller, Sid, June the Man. And before we get out of here, I want to leave y'all with a very special message. Wake up every day and strive for perfection. And when you fall short, because you definitely will fall short, wake up and do it again. So, yeah, we're the Iceberg Lounge. We'll see y'all next week.
All
Big
day.
Burr.
Bird.